So, Bronny James. I made a video a couple of days ago talking about Bronny James going to the G League. And you know, people in the comment section, oh, Bronny James is going to prove you wrong. Bronny James is going to, he's a G League player. Like, he's going to improve in the G League. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. Like, he's not that bad. He's just not NBA level left. Like, he can go to the G League and he's going to improve as a player. Bronny James sucks at basketball! Like, relative to NBA players. Bronny James sucks! Like, I get it. Bronny James can destroy all of us. But we have to say what our eyes see. This man is a Irish Super League level pro. And I know, because I played in the league. I've played in the league. I've coached in the second tier. I've seen what imports go. And by the way, if you guys don't know how international leagues work, every single team has a limit on the amount of American, well, it's non-European Union or non-region players. 95% of the time it's an American or sometimes a Canadian. Sometimes I've seen teams have success bringing over Australians, but most of the time it's Americans. So the level of play needed to play in a non-American league as an American is way higher than if you're not an American. So, for example, you pretty much have to be either a star at D2 or D3 or a D1 guy to even play in Ireland as an American. But if you are a D1 guy, you might be the best non-American in the league. So it's not saying that I'm even comparable. But I've played with guys better than Bronny James at basketball. I'll take it. I played with a dude, Corbin Jackson. Played top league in Puerto Rico for years, which is a higher level than Bronny James will be able to play at. I played with Brian Edwards, 5-time Egyptian League MVP. I've played against Sean Van Zandt, the starting point guard for Butler against, against Kemba Walker. And Seventh Woods played in the league last year and was fine. He got top first team all league because he's Seventh Woods, but he was fine. He was a fine player in the league. Seventh Woods at this point in time is better than Bronny James. He just is. He averaged 2 points a game for a national championship winning side. Bronny James wouldn't have seen the court for a national championship winning side in college. This guy, he had 6 points. 6 points in his G League debut. He had 5 turnovers. He had almost as many turnovers as points. He was the worst player on the court in a G League game. He was the worst player on the court in a G League game. And you might be saying, oh, he's just not used to it. When is he going to get used to playing at this level? Because he's not an NBA player. He didn't look like a Division 1 player last year. He wasn't that good in high school. He was bang average in high school. If his name wasn't LeBron James Jr., he is at best a 3-star recruit. Man's playing 7 minutes a game at a mid-major as a freshman. If his name's not LeBron James Jr. The man is so far off. He's so far off being an NBA player. I'm trying to think, is there a professional basketball league in the world where LeBron James is the best player in that league? I'm not sure. Even if you go to the league I coach in, the second tier in Irish basketball, there's dudes who put up 20 at D2 level. I don't think he can do that. I don't think he could do that. I'm not joking. He couldn't put up that at the high school level. And I'm sorry, even highest level of high school basketball is not as high as high level D2 basketball. I don't think he'd be the best pro in the Irish second tier. I don't think if he went to El Salvador, which is a lower level, he's the best pro there. I don't think if he went to Armenia, he's the best pro there. This is a guy there has never been a worse 6'1" guard in the history of the NBA. He might be the worst 6'1" guard ever to play in the G League. Because if you guys don't know anything, the 6'1" guard position, anything about pro ball, at any level of professional basketball, if you are a pro basketball player and you are an undersized guard, you are a hooper. Overseas teams almost entirely look for bigs. Size matters, height matters. They'll look for bigs and they'll look for big wings because a lot of the time the locals aren't going to be as tall or as athletic as Americans. If a team is looking for a small guard, They are looking for you to come over and win them games by yourself. The only teams in all of pro basketball that look for small guards as their like import players are teams that locally can't produce those players. And if you can't produce those players locally to give you anything, then you're gonna basically have one small guard that's most likely your import player expected to do everything. Like any G League small guard is a hooper. Like you could put any G League level. Like there's a dude playing in Ireland right now. Name is Casey Harrell. Played I think a G League game or something during the COVID season. And that man, if you put him into like pro-ams, he can give buckets. He could give buckets to anybody. I don't think Bronny James can. Like he's one of the worst guards I've seen play in the G League. Like when it comes to pro basketball, like there's so many levels off that Bronny James is. And people are like, oh, he should do this for his development to get to the NBA. There's no amount of development that's going to get Bronny James to the NBA. I'm sorry. There has never been a 6'1 guard be this bad at 19 and even make the G League. The only reason he's even in the G League is because his name is LeBron James Jr. And not only that, he's playing an NBA game. He's playing NBA games. Michael Jordan's kid was better than him. So much better than him. Like, Marcus Jordan was so much better than Bronny James. And Marcus Jordan didn't play pro ball. Did he marry Scottie Pippen's ex-wife or something and open a shoe store? He was better than Bronny James. Like, we're watching this in real time. This is like genuinely watching what would happen if like the really good dude who's playing at your YMCA won a competition to play in the NBA. Obviously not quite as much. And you might be saying like, oh, like, he got a bucket in the NBA. Like, you got to be good to get a bucket in the NBA. On like 10% shooting. Any pro guard, any NCAA Division 1 guard that gets actual burn and is not a walk-on sitting on the bench. Any D1 scholarship guard, any professional basketball guard at any level can shoot 10% in an NBA game. Like, he's just so far off. He's so far off. Like, it's actually getting ridiculous. Man had almost as many turnovers as points. And you might be saying, oh, he's just got used to playing the G League. He's been practicing with the NBA team. He's been practicing with the Lakers. He has been practicing with the Lakers. I'm sorry. If you are not good enough to play in the G League, like, we have seen, like, Jalen Hood-Schifino go down to the G League and dominate. We have seen some of the worst players ever, or some terrible players. I've seen Anthony Bennett get buckets in the G League. We have seen guys that have no right to ever be on the floor at the NBA level, that just fluked getting drafted, be in the G League. Thanasis Antetokounmpo was the best freaking defensive player in the G League. He was one of the best players in the G League. Like, come on. And as I always say, Thanasis, I've said this, Thanasis is closer to 40-year-old LeBron, not prime LeBron, because that's not a debate. Thanasis is closer to current day LeBron than Bronny James is to Thanasis. Prime Thanasis is closer to current LeBron than Bronny James is to prime Thanasis. And that is not a lie. That is not a lie. Thanasis Antetokounmpo was a decent pretty good EuroLeague player, a really good G League player, and a poor NBA player because of the levels. Bronny James would be just another guy if his name wasn't LeBron James Jr. if he went to play in the Irish National League. Actually, no, he'd be a very good Irish National League player, I will say. He'd be a very good Irish National League player. He'd just be another guy playing in the Irish Superleague, which isn't this, like, mystically high pro league. I played in it. Like, can we just stop pretending Bronny is... Not that he's not good at basketball. Can we stop pretending Bronny James is a good professional basketball player?